Peace. Thank you for being here. It's your spot to come and read books. Thank you, YouTube. Highest heart love to everyone out there in the U.S. Happy New Year. So, you might have seen in the post earlier, we are reading a new book. It's the perfect way to start the year off. We have the fourth or fifth book after Masaru Emoto the Great. Let us experience hidden messages of water and the true power of water. We have The Healing Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. I'm your moderator and narrator, Uriel Neveu, coming to you live from Alaska. Yes! So, let us begin. We'll start right here. The introduction. Honor to everyone here. Anyone who can remember their science lessons, whether in chemistry, physics, or biology, may recall that water was largely ignored or taken for granted as inert, simple substance with the formula H2O. Of course, it had a few other properties, such as boiling point of 100 degrees Celsius, and a unique way of expanding and contracting as it froze and unfroze. We knew it as central, not only to all life on Earth, but also to the planet's many geological processes. The unspoken message was, that's just the way things are. No need to ask why. In recent years, a few brave scientists, risking ridicule and ruin, have been pioneers in discovering a whole new world with respect to the properties of water. Among the first of these was the French immunologist Jacques Benveniste, who attempted to prove that water had memory and could retain information about complex chemicals, even if there was no trace left of them. This was seen as scientific hearsay, and for his trouble, Benveniste was dismissed from his job, and his laboratory was closed down. He died in 2004. But his conclusions proved so intriguing that many claim to have successfully repeated his experiments. Other scientists followed his footsteps, and some of the top and most distinguished of these have been contributed to this book. In most cases, the authors have done much to simplify technical papers so that the lay readers can follow them, and it's well worth a little extra time and effort to digest the contents. Having done so, you, the reader, will see something amazing. The beginnings of a whole new understanding of the world and life on it, going far beyond the limitations of the current materialist scientific era. In this new vision, thought, and consciousness profoundly affect not only the structure of water, but also many other substances, even playing a critical role in the DNA decodes itself in new life. We stand at the dawn of a new era, one that will profoundly change not only science, but also our spirituality, and indeed a whole culture. I'm profoundly honored and that my own books have been able to reach out to wider readership around the world, demonstrating the power of thought, prayer, and intention to change water for the benefit of all of us. So that's the introduction. Peace. Highest heart love. Woo! Yes. The root. This is the one that gets the root. This was when I read this, it changed even my thoughts of his work even more because it gave me an insight. It was like, oh, that's how they did it. You know, that's how you come to these conclusions. That's why when I started reading this book, this when I started making my music. Chapter 1. Let's go into it. Come on, let's go. Psychoenergetic Science, expanding today's science to include human consciousness, by William A. Tiller, PhD. Psychoenergetic science is an expansion of today's conventional science, which for 400 years has dealt with the following metaphorical reaction equation: mass and energy. 1A. Psychoenergetic science deals with the expanded reaction equation: mass, energy, consciousness. Experience shows that human consciousness readily manipulates information of all kinds, numbers to sums, language to letters, to make words and sentences, jigsaw puzzles, pieces to make maps and pictures, and symbols to make equations to produce order out of disorder. From the psychoenergetics research, which is outlined in the first part of this article, we have discovered a second, unique level of physical reality that is quite different from our normal electric atom molecules level. This new level functions in the physical vacuum within the empty space between the fundamental particles that make up atoms and molecules. The stuff of this physical vacuum consists of magnetic information waves, and we've observed that the physics of this new level is mod, modu- modulatable by the human mind, intentions, and consciousness in general. About 8 years ago, we discovered a reliable, repeatable procedure for lifting the electromagnetic symmetry state of a room or other large space higher than that of our normal atom molecule level to one wherein commercial instrument measurements became capable of accessing these two unique levels of physical reality. In addition, the procedure allowed us to tune this large space so that a specific intention could be manifested in that place via the physics of this vacuum level of physical reality. From our research, we have found that a specific material property consists of two parts: one from the electrical atom molecule level of physical reality, which is all our normal world can presently measure, and one from the magnetic information wave level of physical reality. The instrumentally assessed magnitude of this second contribution depends on the magnitude of a special coupling coefficient material connecting these two levels. This coupling coefficient can be of negligible magnitude, as in our normal level of physical reality, or via utilizing the aforementioned intention procedure, can be caused to be a large magnitude. We have utilized this new procedure to 1. substantially change the pH of the same type of water in equilibrium with air, either up or down by one full pH unit, which is -1 times our measurement accuracy. Okay, 2. Increase by -25%. P less than 0.001. In the vitro thermodynamic activity of the specific human liver enzyme alkaline phosphatase. 3. Increase by -20%. P less than 0.001. The in vivo ATP and ADP ratio in the cells of fruit fly larvae so that they would be fitter and have much shorter -20% at P less than 0.001. Development time to the adult fly stage. Here, ATP is the energy storage molecule in all cells, while ADP is its chemical precursor. That's very deep. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we know with fitness training in the body. This ATP, this comes with the oxygen levels, all right? And so the diaphragmatic breathing, so deep, right? Thank you so much for being here. Highest heart love, guys. Much love. Awesome. Yes. All right. In addition to the foregoing, we've discovered that humans and perhaps all vertebrates have their acupuncture meridian chakra system at this higher electromagnetic symmetry state. So humans have the basic capability to do what our intention device does, though perhaps not to such a significant degree unless they are at a master or avatar level or self some strong self-development. We hope to be able to convert our detection device into a standalone engineered system for use as an individual or group biofeedback device to enhance individual or group self-development to higher and higher levels of inner self-management. Finally, in the second part of this article, I provide a brief theoretical overview of what controls ice crystal shape during the freezing of water, without and with the application of human intention. Part 1. Key background experimental data. References 7 to 9 cover my psychoenergetics research books over the past 35 years. In the first contribution, the work clearly showed that human consciousness could enhance the radiation spectra of the human biofield sufficiently to have a robust impact on wide variety of physical processes. Table 1 provides a summary of these key experimental findings. The second contribution covers the period from 1997 to 2001, and Table 2 provides a summary of our key experimental findings during that period. Table 1. Summary of key experimental findings from science and human transformation. 1. A highly developed human biofield can alter the properties of materials and the functioning of devices so as to reveal deeper levels of nature, not anticipated from our normal, everyday observations. The radiations from such levels of nature pass through materials that are optically opaque to EM radiations in the visible range. 2. Non-EM emissions from the biofields of normal humans, when modulated by their attention and directed intention, can enhance or not enhance electron micro avalanches in a simple gas discharge device, depending upon the actual focus of humans' intention. 3. Some humans emit bursts of subtle energy from various body chakras, and via a subtle energy, electrical energy conversion process involving the acupuncture meridian system. Large voltage pulses appear both on the body and at sites remote from the body. 4. When focusing on the heart with loving intent, the human EKG becomes harmonic at the reflex frequency of 0.14 hertz, where the heart entrains the brain, and simultaneously all the other major electrophysiological systems of the body. In this heart entrainment mode of functioning, body chemical production becomes healthier, and focused intent can psychokinetically influence molecular structures both inside and outside of the body. 5. Most young children perceive both EM and subtle energies. Lens and prism experiments indicate that the latter travel at velocities v greater than c, the EM light velocity, and speed up on entering denser matter. And 6. Dowsing is a natural human body response mechanism for those who give it meaning, wherein the unconsciousness communicates valuable information to the conscious via involuntary small muscle movements or the creation of localized heart patterns. Table 2. We're at the top of page 37. Welcome all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming to this YouTube channel. Highest Heart Love. Oh, yes, much love. You see, that's what you see in me. Wow, that's powerful. All honor to Christ forever. Table 2. Summary of key experimental findings from conscious acts of creation. 1. Human consciousness, in the form of a specific intention, can be imprinted into a simple, low tech electronic device from a deep meditative state by highly inner self managed humans. Such a device, now called an IIED, intention imprinted electrical device, can act as an effective surrogate to robustly influence a unique target, experiment, and physical reality. 2. The 4 unique target experiments studied involve A. An inorganic material, water, with property changes 100 times larger than measurement accuracy. B. An organic in vitro material with property changes of negative 20% at p less than 0.001. And C. A living in vivo material with property changes of negative 20% at p less than 0.001, both of the latter having a built-in control. 3. A unique intelligence was present in an IIED after imprinting so that the measured material property changes where A always is in the direction of the IIED's intention imprint and B always specific to the particular IIED utilized. 4. An unshielded IIED in the electrical off state and physically separated from the UED, the unimprinted electrical device, in the electrically off state by negative 100 meters, still has a communication channel available to it for transferring the imprint statement to the UED within a week. Thus, the carrier for such information exchange is not conventional electromagnetism. 5. The new field, although not EM, can be dissipated through EM leakage pathways. Thus, wrapping an IIED in aluminum foil and storing it in an electrically grounded Faraday cage prolongs its lifetime of effective use. -3 months before re-imprinting is required. 6. Placing a specific IIED in a room and turning it on conditions the room to a state wherein item 2 in the stable naturally manifests. Come on. What? Guys, the crystallization matters. Six, placing a specific IIED in a room and turning it on conditions the room to a state wherein item 2 in this table naturally manifests. Without the presence of this conditioned state in the room housing the target experiment equipment, this material property changes do not occur. 7. One characteristic of a conditioned space is that a DC magnetic field polarity effect on the pH of water occurs. Such an effect is thought to require that accessing of magnetic monopolies, a property usually associated with a higher EM gauge symmetry state than our normal everyday reality. Such a higher EM gauge symmetry state is also a higher thermodynamic free energy per unit volume state. 8. Another characteristic of a conditioned space is the spontaneous appearance of material property oscillations of very large amplitude, air and water, temperature, pH, electrical conductivity of water, etc. that are A, global throughout the room. B, all exhibit the same Fourier spectral components. And C, all are in the frequency range of -2 squared -2 10 to -3 squared hertz. Yes! Come on! It's the math. 9. A third important characteristic of a conditioned space is that it's sensitive to the presence of an active IIED at separation distances of at least negative 150 feet. Oscillations generated in the locale of the IIED spontaneously appear at high correlation coefficient in an in a conditioned space, but not in an unconditional unconditioned space. 10. If the degree of conditioning in a space is low, the the IIED is removed from the space, the conditioning decays slowly with a time constant of -1 month. If the degree of conditioning in a space is sufficiently high, the IIED can be completely removed from the space and stored properly, and the level of conditioning in the room doesn't appear to change, at the least for 1 to 2 years. 11. The cause of the air temperature oscillations in the conditioned space near an apparent source was shown not to depend upon movements of the air molecules in the space, but rather thought to depend on changes at the vacuum level of physical reality. 12. Removal of the apparent air temperature oscillation source revealed that this vacuum level phantom source had a very slow relaxation time of -1, -2 months back to zero amplitude. 13. While in the phantom fade temperature isolation source mode of reality, abrupt changes in the orientation of a large natural quartz crystal placed in the initial source region showed abrupt changes in overall oscillation, wave shape, amplitude, and frequency. Thus, a quartz crystal appears to be a type of tuner for the vacuum source behavior. 14. In a conditioned space, spontaneous and abrupt shifts in computer monitoring behavior of a random number generator RNG occurred from time to time for no apparent reason. 5. Experimenter effect. Specific materials effects and specific device effects appeared in the short term to alter the tuning of the oscillations in a conditioned space. This particular body of work showed that the human consciousness, in the form of a specific and detailed intention, could be imprinted into a very simple electronic device from a deep meditative state, and then this process device, now called an IIED, intention imprinted electrical device, could act as a surrogate for the specific intention and thereafter robustly influence a specifically designed target experiment in full accord with the intention imprinted therein. There it is. Figure 1 illustrates the general behavior for 4 distinctly different target experiments. Here's figure 1. Just to pause for a second. IIED, and it shows the QM continuously go up and lateral. Conventional physics, normal conditioning. Transitional physics, enhanced conditioning. New physics, critical enhanced conditioning. So Surprisingly, it was found that placing this IIED negative 100 meters from the physically identical but unimprinted device, with both in the electrically switched off state, didn't inhibit transfer of the specific intention imprint from the IIED to the unimprinted device within less than a week. This implies that a new information channel, other than conventional Maxwellian electromagnetism, EM, is present in nature for such an information change to occur. This new information carrier appears to be one that's modulatable by human intent. The basic process of electrically tuning on and turning on an IIED in a given laboratory space causes this space to be IIED conditioned in such a way as to allow the instrumentation present in that space to access another level of physical reality after an negative 3 month period of such space conditioning. The particular material property targeted by the specific intention embedded in the device varies over time according to Figure 1 and the following equation. QM equals QP1 plus efficiency of QP2 with the coefficient efficiency. In equation 2, Qm is the total instrumentally measured value of the property. Qp1 is the normal value. QMO in figure 1, QP2 is the expectation value for this second level of physical reality, while the coupling coefficient is the the let me show you the sign. Coupling coefficient. It looks almost like a infinity sign, but it's cut off at the end. It doesn't connect. So that's a coupling coefficient. Is the coupling coefficient between these two unique levels of physical reality. Relative to figure 1, you have the coupling coefficient. The QP2 is QM1 minus QMO. The intention magnitude of property change imprinted into the particular IIED. A fully IIED conditioned laboratory has been observed to exhibit several characteristic signatures. Wow, this is so good. Thank you so much for being here. We're at page 41. The Healing Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. Thank you all for being here. Highest heart love. Whoa, this is so awesome. The love. Look at the love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 1. QP2T is responsive to the polarity of DC magnetic field placed close to the pH measuring instruments, i.e. QP2 North Pole up, or minus QP2 South Pole up. Equal then to zero, as it should for our normal reality, Q-P1, because there are only magnetic dipoles are present. To yield such an experimental result, magnetic monopolies must also be present and instrumentally accessible. 2. Temporal material property oscillations of very large magnitude appear for PHT, OT, and TW times T, and TA times T, where O equals electrical conductivity, and TW is water temperature, and TA is air temperature. RA global throughout the room. B. All exhibit the same Fourier spectral components. And C. All components are in the frequency range. Minus 10 to the negative second power to 10 to the negative Q hertz. 3. The T oscillations magnitude 3 Celsius degrees were shown via a forced convection experiment, not to be due to any natural convection process in the room's air, and remained for weeks to months after the supposed source of the oscillation had been removed from the experimental space. And 4. For these phantom TAT oscillations, it was observed that when a large natural quartz crystal was placed with its C-axis pointing upwards in the initial source location. Woo! The crystals don't lie because the crystallization has happened. So the intention, the air, the water content, the density, it just increased the TA amplitude slightly and sharpened the spatial TA profile somewhat. However, when the crystal was rotated 90 degrees so that the C-axis was in the horizontal plane and aligned with the row of thermometers, there was an immediate inversion of the wave shape with reduction of the wave amplitude by a factor of -2, -3, and an increase of the wave frequency by a factor of 3 and 5. We're at the middle of page 42. The Healing Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. Master Masaru Emoto. From these four main experimental observations, it was deduced that such phenomena weren't associated with the electroatom molecule level of physical reality, but rather the coarse physical vacuum level of reality, i.e., from within the space unoccupied by the nucleons making up the atoms and molecules. The empty space. Further, it was deduced that magnetic monopolies were intimately involved with the material nature of this coarse physical vacuum, level of reality. Reference 9 was our third major psychoenergetics contribution, and its contents cover the period of 2001 through 2004. Table 3 provides a summary of the key experimental findings collected in Reference 9. This work largely focused on replication by others of the APH, equal plus 1 units, experiments at several laboratories in the US and Europe. Initially, 3 laboratories, Payson, Missouri, and Kansas, with such IIEDs were utilized, and each had a control site containing identical pH measurement equipment plus a UED, no IIED, located within 2 to 20 miles of the IIED site. This experimental replication of the original Minnesota results was successfully achieved. At these sites, the APH or alpha PHT grew exponentially with time to levels significantly above the normal theoretical value. However, at their control sites, the same type of behavior occurred, indicating that a macroscopic room temperature information entanglement process occurred between the IIED sites and their UED sites. Next, the Baltimore and Bethesda sites were initially used as control sites for the 3 IIED sites, and within 2 months, the same large increase in alpha pH with exponential time dependence 4 months later were initially used as control sites for the system, and within 3 weeks for the UK site and 1 week for the Milan site, PHT was exponentially increasing with time, and the alpha pH reached 1 pH units. Now, the information entanglement process between sites had been proven to reach 6,000 miles. We'll pause right here. We're in the middle of page 43. The Healing Power of Water by Masaru Emoto. Highest honor and heart love. Thank you for all reading with us. We did it again. We're starting up. Okay. I love y'all. Remember, your crystallization is happening all the time. What are you putting into your body? Where does it come from? How much do you love it? Do you pray over it? Always pray. Give thanks. That's what I do. That stays in the crystallization. Highest heart love, everyone. Thank you so much for reading with us. You don't worry about it, you stay on the path. Highest heart love. We're into a new book phase. Thank you for reading with me. Feast. Oh, highest heart love.